Flying back in time, this is the Jermaine Plane.
Yes, hello, it's Jermaine here, and welcome to a bonus episode of the Jermaine Plane where I play the throwback requests of the guests that we have on the show. Now, if you don't know, I have a radio show version of the Jermaine Plane on a station called Nova Throwbacks. It airs every Friday night, and I play some stuff that you don't hear on the main podcast episode because they're requesting their favorite songs. And in this case, it's the Tierney Brothers. They're from the band Human Nature. If you haven't listened to the chat, I would highly recommend it because we go through their time as Human Nature, touring with Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, and what made them become a duo and how brotherhood plays part in their new career journey. So sit back, relax, enjoy the throwback requests from the brothers of the iconic band Human Nature. This is Mike and Andrew, the Tierney Brothers, with their throwback requests on the radio show version of the Jermaine Plane. Enjoy. All right, Mike, you've chosen OneRepublic Counting Stars as your throwback for tonight's show on the Jermaine Plane. Tell me why you've chosen that.
Well, that was I think OneRepublic was a good inspiration for us as Tierney Brothers, you know, for the sound of that record and the way that they, you know, I think Ryan Tedder's a fantastic pop songwriter, and just we often, you know, when we're writing something, we'll go, oh, what would Ryan Tedder do here? You know, kind of,
yeah.
Just the way he, you know, his the craft that he has with songwriting and getting hooks and kind of, yeah, just the way he makes a song work so well. So yeah, I think Counting Stars is obviously, I mean, he's written so many great songs, but that's one of the classics from him. And yeah, he's a real, not only the OneRepublic as a sound inspiration, but him as a songwriter is an inspiration too for us.
We've got a Michael song,
I do.
Couldn't be more happy about that. Why have you chosen Rock With You?
Well, Rock With You is actually written by Rod Temperton, like a fantastic songwriter from the 70s and 80s, and he wrote Thriller. He also... So Rock With You, I think, was maybe the first song he'd written for Michael Jackson. And when we were touring with Michael Jackson throughout Europe, the A&R guy of a record company actually got Rod Temperton to come and see us as Human Nature because he thought Rod should write for you guys. And so Rod came to I think it was the Wembley Stadium show, and we hung out with him, and he said, yeah, I'd like to work on your album. Obviously, we were on the up and up, you know, it was like probably at the time of someone saying, oh, you come and write for One Direction, and you know, everyone wanted to write for One Direction on their second album. And so Rod was like really into it. So we actually went to Monaco.
Okay. Nice.
We went to Nice. And because Rod had an apartment in Nice, we went swimming in the ocean with Rod, and we kind of set the tone for, okay, let's start writing together. And so Mike and I were writing that second record, and we wrote a song called Mary's Garden, which is like a kind of a smooth, kind of MJ-inspired song, and Rod really liked it. And so he wrote a bridge for it, and then he was, actually the crazy story is, Rod was booked on a first-class airfare to come out and work on that second record with us, Counting Down, and he called the day before, and he said, I can't get excited about the songs that I'm writing for you guys, so I can't expect you to get excited, so it's off.
Oh, wow.
So it was like we were going to be making this album with Rod Temperton, and he was bringing his best songs. You know, that was kind of the thought.
Yeah.
We had Mary's Garden, and we had another song called Temperatures Rising that he'd written on. But he had these other songs that he was going to bring, and we were thinking, okay, well, we've got these 5, and then we'll get these 5 with Rod, and we'll make the record. And then the day before the session, he called and said he's not doing it.
How did you guys feel about that?
Yeah, it was a letdown. I mean, he was still kind of involved. We would call him and, you know, he'd help on sort of arrangement ideas and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of understood it too if he didn't feel good about what he'd written. I mean, you kind of had to respect that too. It was like, well, you know, he didn't want us to record just anything, you know what I mean? So if he couldn't get excited about what he'd written, and he was, you know, an older guy as well, it was a touch and go whether he'd really come. You know, we always thought in the back of our minds, will this actually happen? But then
to give that some context to the song we're about to play, he thought Rock With You was a silly little song.
Yeah, right. Oh,
he said he never thought it was going to be what it was. He goes, I just thought, you know, I didn't think Rock With You. So maybe he had Rock With You that he thought was just not good, and he
Imagine
Never
if he
heard it.
didn't go into the studio
That's
and
right.
present that to
so
Quincy.
what did he have that he didn't bring for the Human Nature session? You know? He thought he had a collection of silly little songs, and he didn't get on a plane.
It
so
could
anyway.
have been another Rock With You. Well, let's get it on for your Friday night. This is Michael Jackson, Rock With You, a throwback choice from Andrew Tierney here on the Jermaine Plane.
Flying back in time. This is the Jermaine Plane.